Good evening and welcome to today's Crap Grandma Says. Today I want to talk about 4,000, 2,000, 1,000, or as I like to call it, math for Trump's morons. I sat down and did a little calculating while nursing my secondhand embarrassment over the $40 million military parade Donald Trump threw for his birthday. Oh, sorry, the Army's birthday, my mistake. I forgot. We're all supposed to pretend that this wasn't just a tantrum wrapped in camo and wrapped around his fragile ego like a weighted blanket for sociopaths. Sure, Donnie, it was for the Army's birthday. Just like that doctor's note you wrote yourself to get out of serving in the same Army. But let's be generous. Like Mother Teresa level generous, and pretend his Fantasyland numbers are true. Let's say 40,000 people actually showed up. Spoiler, they didn't. We've all seen the photos and footage. That crowd had more empty space than Donnie's reading comprehension. That crowd was given more sad high school pep rally than glorious patriotic celebration. But let's play pretend. If there were 40,000 people there that day, he could have handed each of them $1,000. Boom! Money better spent. Cut that number in half, that's 2,000 ahead. Still a better use. But if we go by the actual reported attendance, around 10,000 folks, he could have handed each of them $4,000 and still avoided subjecting the world to that low-energy, self-fellating spectacle of tanks and empty bleachers. And you know what? If Trump really wanted to see a massive crowd, he should have let the protesters show up. The No Kings rallies across the country drew way more people without needing 40 million in props and forced applause. And they had energy, volume, and actual purpose. Three things Donnie's sad, limp parade lacked entirely. But heaven forbid anyone steal Donnie's spotlight with dissent. I can't even say his name today. Hard time saying his name anytime. But God forbid anybody steal his spotlight with dissent. Heaven forbid Donnie let those people in. They might boo. And God forbid the man-child hears something other than happy birthday, dear Fuhrer. Because in Donnie's mind, that's not patriotic. It's just rude, right? Meanwhile, the soldiers in that parade looked like they were counting the minutes till they could go home and pretend it never happened. The soldiers looked like they were wondering what they did in a past life to deserve standing at attention for a man who dodged the draft because of bone spurs and now pretends to be commander-in-chief of his own personal cult. You want to honor the military? Try spending that money to pay them a living wage. Try giving them housing that doesn't have black mold and lead pipes. Try keeping their families fed without relying on WIC and food pantries, because let me tell you what, the military is shamefully the only job I've ever had where I qualified for assistance while wearing that uniform. Try cleaning up the bases they live on so soldiers don't come out of service having been poisoned by their own government. Sure, let's burn through taxpayer dollars while Rome burns so the toddler-in-chief can cosplay as Emperor Palpatine. The only thing that parade honored was Trump's need for validation and a chance to watch tanks roll by and pretend they're clapping for him. 4,000, 2,000, 1,000... doesn't matter. No matter how you do the math, 40 million was just the cost of watching an insecure, power-hungry, has-been throw himself a party nobody wanted to attend. And every version of the math leads to the same answer. The parade was stupid, the crowd was sad, and the spending was obscene and wasteful of my tax dollars and yours. So there's that.